What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I am reviewing a film that's based on a true story called Fisherman's Friends. Now, this film is based on a true story of the Port Isaac Fisherman Friends, which were 10 fishermen who essentially sang sea shanty songs in their own spare time before becoming and getting signed by a major record label, I believe Universal. Just before I kind of go into this, I just want to talk a little bit about Fisherman's Friends, because personally I've never really heard the music before seeing this film, and I did a little bit of research. So they went gold with their debut album, which is pretty huge, again, considering these men are just fishermen at the end of the day and just singing out of their passion and their hobby. And besides that, they've done extensive tours. They've been to Glastonbury. Apparently they're on the Pyramid stage as well. And of course they have had some sad tragedy and loss throughout the group and the band as well. So my thoughts are obviously with them and their families as well. So let's get into the film. So the film is directed by Chris Forgan. It stars James Purevoy, Daniel Mays, Tuppence Middleton, and essentially a bunch of hairy fishermen men, actors. So anyway, this film is essentially around Daniel Mays' character, who is an executive producer, works for a record company, signing up new acts, and he's obviously there to make big bucks. He's on a stag do, and the other people in the stags, well, one of them is his boss, and he says, look, you need to sign up these fishermen, but Daniel Mays' character doesn't realise that it was a joke. He eventually finds out, but however, he starts building up a connection and a friendship with these fishermen's friends, the band, gets them signed on. But there is positives of this film and there is negatives. Let's get into the positives to start with. I like the music in this film. Again, I've never heard of the band before, so hearing their music for the first time, it was catchy. It kind of made you realise that, you've got so much music genres nowadays, but this band Fisherman Friends and their music, kind of like folk, as I guess someone would say, it's kind of just really cool, and it's really awesome kind of just to hear some music that is just basic. It's sang from the heart. They don't need fancy electronic beats or pop music, or to become a chart hit. It's solely just on their passion alone that kind of got them their gold album. So for that was pretty cool. I would say the acting in this film as well is pretty good. James Purevoy, I'm a huge fan of him, and first time I believe I've seen him in any kind of role was in a series called The Following with Kevin Bacon, and in that he played the bad guy, and it was awesome. So since then, when I've seen him in any films or TV series, I'm a huge fan of James Purevoy, and it was great to see him in this film, and he played a very good part. The film itself, I believe to an extent, it did kind of show off the fishermen's friends, what they were kind of about, but this is kind of where I would say the positives end of the film, simply because Daniel Mays' character and Tuppence Middleton, I believe they get a little bit too much time in this film, where it's more showcased as their romance and it's focused on that, rather than based off the fishermen's friends, going into a little bit more of their backstories of each one. Because, yeah, by all means, there's 2 or 3 of them, essentially, that are the main characters, but then the rest of them are kind of just back characters, and I just believe that should have been explored a little bit further, even if they had a quick rundown, 30 seconds of each character, a little bit of a backstory and their name and kind of what they were about. But you don't really get that in the film, which I believe is a shame and a huge missed opportunity. At the end of the day, it's showcasing this group, but they only showcase maybe 4 members maximum of this, and to me that was a little bit of a shame, given as I'm an outside audience member who's never heard of this group, but I'm seeing this film to maybe get into this group after hearing some of the music, and I do like some of their music actually now, but I still believe the rest of the band could have been showcased with that. Again, obviously with those in mind, they obviously took up a bit more of the run time of this, which again I believe should have been showcased and showed a little bit more for this group. And when I read up on it as well, there was an incident with the manager of the group and actually one of the band members where they both died due to, like, I believe a stage was getting set up. And yeah, at the end, you know, it says for our friends Paul and Trevor. But besides that, I mean, it's not really that much of a tribute to them. Of course, you know, you don't want to see anyone in the scene where they get killed or anything like that. Of course, you know, I get that. But just throughout the whole stage where, because when I read up on it again, they've had like 5, 6 previous band members and they weren't really touched on that much, and I believe they definitely should have been. And some of the characters in this film as well, I believe, were underutilized, where they could have maybe been showcased a little bit more. Because this kind of film, especially when it's tough when you're doing a biopic about a band, you know, obviously given the likes of recent, like Bohemian Rhapsody, for example, and of course a new one coming out, Rocket Man, as well, about Elton John. You know, those biopics, of course, have got to be main focus, and you've got to feel for the band, you've got to be invested in that story. And to be honest with the Fisherman Friends, again, there is parts of this film that they did very well, but then there's parts of it where they just didn't showcase or capitalise on that as much. Some of the comedy at times didn't work, some of it did, don't get me wrong. There was odd time where I kind of burst out laughing, but there was odd moments where I didn't kind of pay off as well. So overall, my thoughts for this film, well, firstly, my score for this film is... Yeah, so my overall thoughts for this film is, if you are fans of The Fisherman's Friends, you may enjoy this film. It might be a good biopic, which you might very well be invested in. Does it kind of showcase more of maybe what you didn't know about the band? No, I wouldn't say so. But overall, it is a watchable film. Thanks, guys and girls, for tuning into the video. Please give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the content, and please subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. I'll be back with more reviews very soon. Until next time, this has been a Z Review. Sign out.